The Street Files, a complete mystery short story, every Wednesday. File 34, The Regent's Park Mystery. Poppy Streete has been asking her mother, Olivia, to book tickets to see the play at Regent's Park Open Air Theatre that has the brother of a friend of hers in it. Leo Gibney is appearing as Dr. Watson in a play about Sherlock Holmes, and his sister Lily went to school with Poppy, and this Friday is the day that they're finally going to see him perform. Olivia and Poppy eat at Carlotta's restaurant on Marylebone High Street at 6 in the evening, and both have burrata al tartufo and pollo alla diavola. The walk is only 15 minutes over the Marylebone Road and into the 400 acres of Regent's Park. There's a queue at the theatre entrance. Then they sit on the green padded seats next to the dark-haired and blue-eyed Lily Gibney. "Tell me about Leo," says Olivia to the girl. "He's 4 years older than me," she says. "Graduated from RADA last summer, and this is his first big gig. He's done well. He's lined up for another play on the London Fringe, too, after this. That could go West End. It's all about your network. He schmoozes a lot, and he's charming. Even I, as his kid sister, have to admit that." The lighting shifts on the stage, and a hush descends across the 1,200 people in the audience as the opening scene begins. 2 hours later, the actors take their bows to the echoes of applause. "Leo said that they're having drinks backstage and we can go," says Lily. After most of the audience have dropped down the stairs and back out to the park, the three women walk down to the stage level. Lily talks to a security woman who pulls back the green canvas sheeting that defines the edge of the public area, and they disappear into a covered route that ends up in a space of grass and the dressing rooms. Leo comes out before the other cast. He has deep brown eyes and short, fair hair. "How was it tonight?" says Olivia. "I made a mistake," he says. "But you may not have noticed. I missed a line in that scene by the old mansion. Hugo won't forgive me." "That's the man playing Holmes, was it?" says Poppy. "He's an old-school actor. Everything must be perfect on the night." "I like Mrs. Cathcart," says Lily. "You can tell her yourself, because she's here. This is Arabella." He indicates a dark-haired woman in her 40s who's walking over to them. "My sister and her friends," says Leo, and the woman offers a soft handshake to each of them in turn. "How's Hugo?" "He was angry." Her eyes are locked onto his. "With me?" "You." She screws up her nose. "No." "What then?" says Leo. Arabella looks at the others in the group. "Dirty laundry," she says. "Let's talk about plays." She smiles to move them on from the discomfort. Her diversion works, and they discuss current dramas that are showing in London and projects that Arabella has coming up, until a man in his 50s, with a mass of grey hair and active green eyes, hurries over to them. "Arabella, we need you," he says. "What's happened, Roger? I'm chatting." "An accident," he says, "in the dressing rooms." "It can't be that important." Roger scans his eyes across Olivia, Poppy, and Lily. "It is." Arabella makes a big show of sighing and making a superficial smile to everyone, before following Roger further into the backstage area. "He's our stage manager," says Leo. As they talk over the next 5 minutes, other actors appear, and Leo acts as host to his guests. But then the sound of chatter dies away, and the relaxed body language of the people around them changes too. Roger, the stage manager, appears again, looking more concerned than he was previously. Leo goes to talk to him, and they only converse for half a minute, before the young man returns with a serious face. Hugo's dead, he says. Stabbed in his dressing room. We can't tell anyone, Roger says. What do you mean you can't tell anyone? That's just what he said. I need to talk to him, Leo, says Olivia. I'll lose my professional license if I'm party to covering up a suspicious death like this. Leo looks blank and Olivia approaches the stage manager. You're Roger, are you? Is that right? Who are you? I'm a guest of Leo's. I'm a lawyer. I understand that there's been a fatality backstage. And Leo has told me that you told him that the death needs to be kept quiet? That's right. He narrows his eyes. The Coroners and Justice Act 2009 requires us to report the death, so I'm obliged to do that if no one else is going to. He sighs. Can it wait? Why? Terry Barley's on his way, the producer. He wants to decide. Leo said Hugo was stabbed, says Olivia. Do you know who stabbed him? Of course not. She considers for a second, then says, What were you planning to do before I came over and told you about what the law requires? Were you going to not report it? That seems a bit extreme, unless you're protecting the killer, of course. Look, my job is to make sure everything works. Mr. Barley just wants his profit. Are you saying that Terry Barley told you to cover up a murder? Not in so many words, says Roger. Olivia takes a breath in, then slowly out. When will he get here? 10 minutes. He was having dinner on Baker Street. I called him as soon as I found Hugo. Do you want some help to handle Mr. Barley? She says. I can advise about what is legally required and find out more of the events that led to Hugo Ford's death. That may help you put the case to the producer. If Mr. Barley continues to insist on non-reporting, you'll be liable, Roger. It would help me, but Mr. Barley may disagree. Before he gets here, can you show me where Hugo is? Roger frowns. It sounds like you'll need evidence to direct Terry Barley to do the right thing. All right, come with me. Olivia turns to Poppy, who is 20 feet away still, with Lily and Leo. She beckons her daughter to come over, and Roger leads them to the row of dressing rooms that are built into the theatre. Dressing room number 1 is locked, and he produces a key and pushes inside. The room is 12 feet square with a hanging rail of costumes along one wall, and a make-up table and mirror on the other. Around the mirror are 16 light bulbs, and the one on the bottom right-hand corner isn't working. Hugo Ford is a tall man even when slumped across the make-up table. The dark head wig for his Holmes character is on a polystyrene head on a stand beside the dead man. Roger waits and looks at Olivia. She and Poppy walk to where Hugo is lying on the dressing table. One side of his neck is sticky with blood, where it has spewed out onto his clothes and the floor. Olivia leans over to look at the man's face, and his eyes are closed. No murder weapon, says Poppy. The killer was not in a hurry, says Olivia. They had the time to take whatever caused this blood with them. And the cause of death is this laceration on his neck, says Poppy, peering closely at the body. Technically that's an incised wound, says Olivia. That's a clean cut. You can see the straight edges where the skin was sliced. She points to the damage. A laceration is a blunt force, whereas an incised wound is a sharp force like this. He's lost a lot of blood, says Poppy. He would have died quickly, wouldn't he? Looks like the carotid artery, so he would have lost consciousness in less than a minute. Olivia turns back to Roger. Who found him? Florence Croft, one of the cast. Who did she play? Says Poppy. Kitty, he says. There's a sudden noise of a loud voice outside before a short man with dark hair, dark eyes, and wearing black storms into dressing room 1. "Who are you?" he says.
"Olivia Streete. I'm a lawyer. You must be Terry Barley."
"You need to leave." He's curt and holds up his arm towards the door. He tries to smile, but his face stops him.
"I need to tell you, Mr. Barley, that I will be reporting this death to the police for onward notification to the coroner."
"No," he says, still holding up his arm towards the door.
"I'm afraid that's not your decision. It's required by law. If you're concerned about your investment in the play, then let me help you. Hugo Ford has been attacked, which is a tragedy. But it means that this is a suspicious death, and the police will interview you about it. Any delay in reporting a death would likely be more damaging for you."
Barley narrows his eyes, and he's stopped giving orders now.
"The more we know about how he died," she continues, "the quicker the investigation will be over, and the quicker you can get back to business. Also, you may want to consider that a more positive public position would be that your chief concern is the welfare of your actors and production staff. It would be much less damaging for your ticket sales than pretending nothing has happened."
Terry Barley drops his arm now, but he is sulky.
"Let me investigate," she says. "It's your best option. This is my card. My rates are on the back."
She pulls out a business card from her Kate Spade wallet and holds it out. After 2 seconds, Barley takes it and reads it. "I want this to be confidential," he says. "Nothing you find out can be posted on social media or shared with the press."
"Not something I would do anyway, Mr. Barley."
He nods but looks reluctant. "All right, get on with it."
"You're the first on my list to interview," she says. "Can we find somewhere to sit down?"
"Roger, have you got a room?" says Terry to the stage manager, who leads them out to an office on the other side of the backstage area, next to the row of dressing rooms. Roger leaves them, and they find 3 chairs and sit in a circle.
"Poppy is my assistant,"
says Olivia, and she flicks her eyes to the girl.
"Where were you tonight, Mr. Barley?"
"Me?"
She opens her eyes and nods in silence.
"Having dinner at the kitchen at Holmes over the road."
"What's your relationship like with Hugo Ford?"
"He was an actor." She waits for more, and eventually he adds, "He was difficult, but he was box office."
"How was he difficult?"
Terry screws up his nose, as this is not the sort of conversation that makes him relaxed. "Sensitive about his public image."
Olivia opens her eyes wider. "A topic that you can relate to, Mr. Barley, I would imagine. Did you like him?"
"He was all right."
"Is that a no?" she says. "Actually, let me put words in your mouth, as this will speed up our discussion here. I think you didn't like him at all. I think you resented that, as a theatre producer, you were dependent on him for your financial returns. Let me suggest you treat this discussion like a rehearsal for your police interview about the death of your leading man. You can lie and dodge with me if you want, but it'll get you nowhere. I can tell when people lie, and so can the police, but they can arrest you for it. So let's start again. What did you think of Hugo Ford?"
Terry rubs the stubble on his chin. "He threatened me."
"Go on."
"The show's been good, successful. We filled the seats more than our break-even, so we're profitable. Hugo called me a couple of nights ago to say that he was the main reason for the success and he wanted a bigger percentage."
"Aren't actors' fees fixed as part of the casting process?"
"Yes," says Barley. "But he was an egotist, full of himself. It was blackmail."
"That's not a sustainable strategy for an actor, though, is it? If it got out that he'd asked for more money beyond his agreement, then producers in the future are going to stay well clear of him, aren't they?"
Not if his name pulls in the punters. It's a risk, of course, but the whole of theatre's a risk. I pour money in up front in the hope that I've got the next big thing.
What was your response to this blackmail?
The long game, like always. I said I'd think about it. He didn't know that I planned to be thinking about it until after the final performance.
How close are you in general with the actors? Are you often backstage?
That's not my job. Roger's in charge of making it all happen on the night. I'm always thinking about tomorrow.
She asks more questions, but Terry is resolutely closed in his demeanour. Eventually she ends the discussion, and Terry walks out quickly.
He's only interested in himself, says Poppy. I wonder why he does his job. He doesn't seem to like it.
I think his defensiveness is just his way of going about in the world, says Olivia.
So who's next?
Let's double our productivity, Poppy. I'll talk to Roger, the stage manager, and Arabella, who played Mrs. Cathcart. You go and see what Leo thinks about all of this, and if the actress Florence Croft is there, talk to her too. She found the body. When Poppy walks back out to the area where everyone was having drinks, the place is deserted. She ducks under the green canvas and steps out into the auditorium. That had also been a hubbub of chatter after the play had finished. Now only a silence rolls across the empty seating. Leo, Lily, and a young woman with dark blonde hair, who Poppy recognizes from the play, are the only ones in the place, sitting on a grass bank at one side of the stage. As Poppy reaches them, Leo says,
What's going on back there? Roger told the cast and crew to wait. Terry Barley has agreed for my mum and me to find out some details before the police arrive, says Poppy. She turns to the young woman. You're Florence, aren't you? I'm Poppy. Can I ask you some questions? Sure, she says. Leo stands up. We'll go and see if Roger knows anything more. He leads his sister back to the green canvas and ducks out of sight. Tell me about Hugo, says Poppy. What was he like with you? Like any actor who's been successful, he wanted to retain his popularity. So I was friendly with us young ones in case we were going to be successful in the future. Or maybe he was just being kind. I'm on the way up. I haven't felt the spotlight move off me yet. Hugo was big in his 20s and got 2 films as romantic lead. Then a drought for nearly a decade. But in the last year, he got a West End and a tour, now this. So he could feel the buzz again. And knew he had to keep it up. Are you guessing at that? Says Poppy. Or did he tell you? We used to talk in rehearsal. Not so much once the performances started. Arabella made sure of that. She liked to have exclusive access to him, given their joint top billing. You liked him then? Says Poppy. And Florence shrugs. What's that shrug mean? Liking people's not important in this business. It's whether they're useful. One day, I'll be looking for work. Then I'll need to have people to call. Poppy screws up her eyebrows. Not as glamorous as the image of acting, is it? I get that, says Poppy. I know flashy jobs are often more mundane than they appear. It's not that. You seem... I'm sorry to be rude. You seem to be a bit heartless. You thought I'd be like my character, didn't you? Says Florence. Kitty's sweet and innocent and only out to help people. But it's acting, that's the point. I'm making people believe something that's untrue. Hugo was like that, she continues. He was playing the character Hugo Ford, because the real one had disappeared long ago, like Dr. Jekyll. Wait, are you saying he was a monster? Says Poppy. I'm saying he preferred his mirage, his act. He lived it every day. Poppy wants to steer the conversation back to evidence gathering. Tell me about finding him dead, she says. We took the curtain call. There were only 8 actors, as you saw. We don't do multiple curtain calls here, so we all got off and went back to our dressing rooms. My final costume is simple, and I don't have a wig, so I finished first normally. I came out and walked along by the dressing room doors. They were all closed apart from number 1, which is Hugo's. I looked in and he was slumped across his dressing table. And you went in? says Poppy. Florence nods. Did you touch anything?
Of course, I pulled him up. But I knew he was dead then. There was a pool of blood, and I screamed and ran out.
How did you know he was dead? Says Poppy.
There was blood everywhere. You didn't check for a pulse or anything?
Florence grimaces.
No, of course not. So you ran out. Was anyone out there? Terry? Terry the producer?
Says Poppy.
You sure? Terry Barley was outside Hugo's dressing room immediately after you found the body? Yeah. Did you talk to him? No. He was over by the stage manager's office having an argument. But Terry had his back to me. He had his back to you, so you didn't know it was him. It looked like him, his hair, his coat. I know that coat. He left it at mine once.
Poppy opens her eyes slightly.
Cast drinks party,
says Florence, looking indignant.
What did you do after you came out of the dressing room? I shouted, "It's Hugo!" And Roger was there suddenly, right next to me. I didn't see where he came from. I told him what I'd found, and he went in and looked at Hugo. I think he moved him. What had happened to Terry?
Says Poppy. Florence shakes her head.
I didn't see, but he didn't come into the dressing room.
50 metres away and backstage, Olivia knocks on dressing room 3, and Arabella's voice can be heard through the door.
Come in.
Can we talk? Says Olivia. Terry Barley has asked me to collect information to help the police. The woman is on a dark grey sofa, and she indicates a chair opposite her for Olivia to sit in. How did you get on with Hugo?
I didn't trust him. Why? Hugo was a gambler, addicted. He hid it, but Terry knew, of course. He spent the whole time telling Hugo to keep it off the front pages. Terry's good at that, controlling people.
Was the gambling affecting Hugo's work? Arabella shakes her head. What's your relationship like with Terry Barley?
I fuck him.
Arabella holds Olivia's gaze. How long have you two been together?
6 months. He's useful.
For your career?
Is there anything else?
Arabella leans over and picks up a glass of wine, and she takes a sip. She mimes offering Olivia if she wants a glass too, but she shakes her head. Do you think that anyone in the cast or crew had a bad relationship with Hugo Ford? I don't mean the odd gripe, I mean serious disagreement.
Roger Pearl, our beloved stage manager, says Arabella. He didn't respect Hugo's status or give him due respect. Often Hugo would ask for items and Roger would take forever to get them. He didn't know his place.
Did Roger know about the gambling?
It's irrelevant. He's not important enough to matter. I wouldn't know if he was aware. I don't socialise with Roger or ask his opinion. He's there to make sure that we actors look our best. That's the start and the end of his purpose.
Did Hugo have an understudy for his part?
Leah.
He's young for that, isn't he?
He's good. Better than Hugo, to be honest, but he's not a name.
What do you think happened tonight?
A burglar?
She says.
Tried to take the cash. Hugo fought back. The chap had a knife. Seems most likely, don't you think?
Do you have any evidence for that? Says Olivia.
None whatsoever. Exciting, isn't it? Not knowing.
After 5 minutes, Olivia's getting nowhere, as Arabella seems to be just lying to entertain herself. She thanks the woman and walks back out to see if Poppy has unearthed any clues. When Olivia pulls back the green canvas, she can see her daughter on the grass with Florence. Poppy walks over to her mother, and they find 2 chairs backstage to catch up on their evidence.
Florence is a bit mercenary,
begins Poppy.
But she did like Hugo. They used to chat in rehearsal. Then Arabella put a stop to that. There's one key piece of her testimony. She said that Terry Barley was outside the dressing room right after she discovered the body, but he said to us that he was at dinner and hadn't come to the theatre before that tonight.
The other key part of the Terry Barley discussion, says Olivia,
was his report that Hugo had threatened him for more money. It's easy to accuse a dead man of something, of course. Arabella told me that Hugo was a gambler, which fits with the request for more money. Terry found out and was keen to keep that story away from the public. There are also two other unconnected facts. Arabella and Terry are a couple, and Leo is Hugo's understudy. So Leo will be Sherlock Holmes from now on, and not Dr. Watson.
Okay, I've got Leo to talk to, says Poppy, and you've got Roger, the stage manager. They part ways to find their final interviewees. Leo is alone and back in the auditorium with a bottle of beer in his hand, as Poppy sits down next to him. So you're going to be Holmes now, she says. If the play comes back. It might be cancelled though, mightn't it? It'll definitely come back. He drinks some beer. What did you think of Hugo? A great man. A few of the others didn't like him very much. Why do you think that is? Envious, probably. You weren't envious? Says Poppy. Why would I be envious? I'm as good as him. You're not sad about Hugo, she says. He had his day. He was a name once. That's all you can ask for, and the spotlight moves on. Poppy looks down for a moment. You've cut your hand, she says.
Leo inspects the back of his left hand.
It's nothing. A bulb broke in the room. I picked it up. Stupid of me.
Roger is in his office when Olivia walks in. Is Terry still here somewhere? She says.
Out in the park, making calls. Trying to control it all.
He'll just have to comply with the police investigation. Does he know that? She says.
That's not the way he works, says Roger. Terry's his own man. Always gets what he wants. You have to push hard to make him stop.
How did you cope with that? He told me that you're in charge once performances have started.
I just enable, I don't do. A catalyst, that's what I am.
You have considerable knowledge of the people here, and their strengths and weaknesses. Who do you think killed him?
I just enable, like I said.
Olivia is starting to see a gap of light in the wall of silence from all of the people in this production. Did you enable someone to take Hugo's life, Roger? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Someone who had a strong reason to stop Hugo being in the play? Roger's silent. If you know something, it will come out. Protecting people never works. Did you assist in the death of Hugo Ford?
It's just my job.
His voice is quieter.
I help them to look perfect. They're just humans with their weaknesses. I gloss over that and make the show look perfect.
My only question to you is, who did you help to kill him? I don't think you did it, but we didn't find the murder weapon. Did you take it? His eyes only stare at her now. You don't want to go to prison, Roger, she says. Give me the knife. Slowly he turns and pulls open one of the drawers in his desk. He lifts out a clear plastic bag with a bloody knife inside it.
There are fingerprints on it,
he says. Are you going to tell me whose they are? The forensics people can tell us anyway, after they take everyone's prints. He sighs.
Leo's.
Olivia's phone buzzes with a message. It's Poppy asking where she is, so Olivia walks to the door and opens it, and Poppy is outside 20 feet away.
I talked to Leo, Mum, she says. He's cold and ambitious. He could easily have done it.
Olivia holds up the plastic bag. You're right, Dr. Watson. The Street Files.
a complete mystery short story every Wednesday.